we are gonna watch some Harry Potter. I've actually seen Harry Potter about, well, 5, 6, 7 times, bare minimum, the whole series. And read about it once, but that was way in the back when I was, I don't know, kid, like 10 years or something. So yeah, honestly, favorite show, played the games, did everything along those lines of Harry Potter. Let's get into it right away. Soothing music, very good. Love the fact that it's instantly ominous, yet magical.
Good luck, Harry Potter.
This is the first time that we actually see his scar. And I like the fact how they're zooming in to a next cutscene right about here through the scar. As if it almost is a religious part or mythology part of the third eye, for example, in Hinduism or something along those lines. I don't know whether I'm good on this or not, but I really like it. Getting instantly tormented, gotta love it. Shows how the family treats an outcast even though they're family. So that's a clear sign of a hierarchy amongst tribal instinct, let's say, right? Therefore, perhaps it how would I say, it shows the treatment of order. And in this sentence, the hierarchy really comes from being above, because the son is above the nephew, and not only metaphorically, but also physically, because he sleeps above him. Really nicely done. And the fact that they're in a confined room, and you wake up there, is really dehumanizing. Thus, it reflects on having lower status, because you're kind of in a dungeon, in a cage, so to say, right? And especially because there is actually a lock on it. Very well done, very well done. Also this over here, the fact that the glass is back, could indicate that the magic is gone away, because the focus wasn't there anymore on the little nephew, or the elderly son, let's say, and more towards the snake and Harry Potter, therefore maybe forgetting that he fell in, so the shields are going up again and the magic is gone, thus the glass is back. But it also resembles in a way that now the roles have been changed, magic has been explored, but also kind of in a way to feel being caged as a karma, perhaps, in a way, to now know what it is to be enclosed, as if he was actually sleeping under his stairs, if that makes sense, right?
Oh, Marge is ill at a funny well.
Dad, look! Harry's got a letter! Hey, give it back! It's mine!
Yours? They'll be writing to you.
Also this, the realization that it comes from Hogwarts, the school of magic. Not only that, but the realization in his eye became from the address, not from the back. So he did not yet have the knowledge. Watch here.
Oh, Marge is ill at a funny well.
Dad, look! Harry's got a letter!
But it's being bullish, but whatever.
Give it back! It's mine!
Yours?
Look, funny, who writes to you, right?
They'll be writing to you.
But the moment the realization came from Mr. Harry Potter, the cupboard under the stairs, it really shows the shock. Because watch. It is a mix or an amalgamy of being so precise in the letter without even opening it, to bring fear is just amazing to me.
No blasted letters today. No, sir. Not one single bloody letter. Not one. No, sir. Not one blasted miserable.
I love the fact that he is emphasizing on bullying Harry, that there is no post, no mail, no nothing like that on Sunday, which means he is still thinking in the realm of human being, muggle mindset, so to say, due to the fact that he cannot possibly imagine a world where, with magic, you don't need the normal system in London, how mail works, because it's magical mail, it's magical post. I found this to be so fun, so endearing, due to the fact that you can see how feeble the mind is of a bully, let's say, right? Enabling is one thing, you know. Then the second one is bullying him. And then the third one, not understanding the different realm that you're playing. So you're playing a game without knowing the rules of the game. Because he follows the rules of the humans, not the magical people. It's super interesting. Before we dissect in this, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It means the world to me, and it means the world to you, I may hope so, due to the fact that you always have some nice content. Anyway, the fact, let's go on with this, the fact that, here, wait, I will show you.
Harry. Just Harry.
A clarification of
Just
this.
Harry. Did you ever make anything happen?
Anything that will make you happen, anything that you're scared or are angry and couldn't explain, is a beautiful reference of what happened in the zoo.
You couldn't explain when you were angry or scared? Just helping young Harry here buy school supplies.
Bless my soul. It's Harry Potter.
Here is the first thing that he recognizes. He becomes famous, or actually is famous. And I love that.
Welcome
the fact
back,
that
Mr.
it
Potter.
becomes instantly quiet shows the determination of the fact of how important he is. The music did not go up or more dramatic. It instantly just hit quiet, which is almost a state of shock. And the shock really assembles it.
Welcome
Watch
back.
it here. The fact that
Doris
everybody
Crockford,
welcomes
Mr.
him,
Potter. I can't believe I'm meeting
and
you
it's
at last.
still you don't hear the music
Harry.
anymore. It's just
Potter,
awesome.
can't tell you how pleased I am to meet you.
Also, pay good attention, very good attention to what happens right
Professor. I didn't see you there. Harry, this is Professor Quirrell. He'll be your defense against...
Quirrell won't have physical contact. You will see it over
the dark
here.
arts teacher.
Watch.
Hogwarts.
Oh, nice to meet you.
What is the first thing that you normally do when you greet somebody? You give him a hand.
Not that you need it, eh, Potter?
He has a closed body language like this. So there won't be any
Goodbye.
physical contact.
Here we are.
This part I truly love. This really brings in everything, but I mean everything upon the whole series of Harry Potter. This particular part. Now here, this face expression says it all. I wonder. This means the wand chooses the person. Since the person is being wounded. What does that mean? Wounded as in his head, right? And watch what happens. The second he made contact, lights up, which means it's comparable with the person. And it really, really emphasizes on the fact that they are bonding. You see the wind and everything. Curious, very curious.
It is curious that you should be destined for this wand when its brother gave you that scar.
Exactly that, exactly that. So that means there are two feathers, that means there are two wands, which means they are connected. This is pretty much the mythology of once you stare in the abyss stares back at you, right? So once you be born precious and malice, very vulnerable to absorb a lot of things. Yet in his earliest stages of his developing life, he got wounded. Thus, he has seen darkness. And he has the scars to prove the darkness. And having been hit by darkness, by a wand, shows you that when the wand chooses him, it shows the darkness within Harry. It's awesome. It's so good. I love this part so much.
Who owned that wand? It's true then. What they're saying on the train. Harry Potter has come to Hogwarts.
Instantly letting know, hey, this is the famous one, but I'm still the leader. It's almost a show off, I would say. From the fact that it's a challenge to begin with. You either join or you become a target kind of way. He shows that he has friends who will back him up. It's perfectly set up as the quote-unquote bad guy.
Draco Malfoy. Think my name was funny, do you? No need to ask you yours. Red hair and a
very
hand-me-down
condescending and everything along those lines. It shows that he means business. And in my opinion, he just has seen too much darkness, right? Sets a person in place, shows that he is in hierarchy, because he should say you poor, this, that, right? So you must be this, to clarify, hey, we know of you and you're nothing. But then, what happens now is just awesome.
Visiting families are better than others, Potter. You don't want to go making friends with the wrong sort.
That you don't want to make the wrong sort as a condescending move is just bad. And what Harry replies is just genius. Watch it.
I can help you there.
This is like an invitation towards join me or die, pretty much.
I think I can tell the wrong sort for myself, thanks.
Repeating what Draco said back to him infers that Harry clearly listened to what happened and what he said. It shows that the words are set up back to him in words that he can understand as Draco. Perfectly set up.
I see, not a bad mind,
So basically,
there's talent
what happens here, I will set the music a little bit softer.
to prove yourself.
He has a battle within. The head could not technically place him instantly, and therefore he said difficult. And why he said difficult, in my opinion, is the fact that once you are touched upon something bad, he carries the scar of, let's say, true evil. So a part of Potter is truly evil. So you can say, sure, he wants to go Gryffindor with his buddies. But deep down in his core, in his soul, he has potential for evil. And that's why I think he can become such a great hero. Because he has seen and thought of true evil. But the placing heads goes by your ability pretty much to become whatever you are within your soul. And since he stained it with his scar, right? Slytherin is a real possibility.
Not Slytherin, eh? Are you sure?
I absolutely love this. The first time that they see Fluffy or whatever it's called, the Cerberus, the three-headed, you know, dog. It shows the mythology spewing out in a way. I rarely have words for it, but it is just so good. So why I think this is good is the fact that it's guarded. The stone is guarded by the first layer Cerberus. Cerberus in mythology is pretty much hell. So this is the first layer of hell, if that makes sense. Almost, if you want to say, jump in the abyss, go into hell, face your biggest fears to get the stone. But not only that, it shows also that the step towards what you must face first is daring to go to it, if that makes sense, right? Here Snape instantly knows what's going on. He will try and guard the stone. It's just not shown yet.
Gryffindors, keep up, please, and stay alert.
So from here on out, watch. The troll notices Harry and prioritizes now pretty much a little bit different view, if that makes sense. Still Hermione, but then eventually goes towards Harry. And I think right about somewhere here. I will pause it to showcase it properly. But the moment the troll grabs Harry, yeah, that's here. Watch. Watch closely. Do you guys see it? I will count down for you guys. I will give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ding, 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 ding. He does not have a scar. They totally forgot. They totally forgot to put on the scar. With whatever ink or mascara, whatever they use to make the scar. He has, in this scene, no scar. They totally forgot about it. It's so fun to notice that. And I only notice this because I've seen this series a million times. Here, you see it now clearly, way better. Just no scar.
Hurry up! Swish and flick. Me. I'd probably be dead.
Be that as it may, it was an
Here, over here, as you see, guys, he has a wound, which means he has been going to Fluffy, the Cerberus,
5 points will be taken from
to protect the stone, of course.
for your serious lack of judgment.
Last night, I'm guessing Snape let the troll in as a diversion so he could try and get past that three-headed dog. But he got himself bitten. That's why he's limping. But why would anyone go near that dog? The day I was at Gringotts, Hagrid took something out of one of them.
And here, Harry tries to figure it out. He is almost spot on. He just focuses aim on Snape, which is completely wrong.
Vaults.
A quick little reminder, please hit the notifications. And feel free to join on my Twitch as well, where I play some streams. Wait, oké, dit ging helemaal fout. Haal dit eruit. Before we start with the quizzes, a quick reminder, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much. Let's get back to it. From this moment on, he will get his broomstick pretty much enchanted to get him killed, which is dramatic nonetheless. But what I found to be very interesting here is the fact that it happens during a game, which indicates that Voldemort already possesses at this stage an ability to actually try to kill him. So this is the first indication of actually the first battle amongst Harry Potter and Voldemort, the evil.
Harry's broomstick.
So what you can see over here, what is going to be happening right now, you see Watch. I will enhance it for you guys. Or anything like that. Let me pause it really quickly.
What's going on with Harry's broomstick?
Here, right about here. You see Snape chanting. And the focus is gonna be laying on Snape. But actually, the professor here is with his hands closed, watching closely, both having eye contact consistently. Which means, during an enchantment, this is the first attempt. And the show tries to make Snape evil by focusing right about here on Snape and not on Quirrell. So it's a diversion.
Chicks the broom? What do we do? Leave it to me. Lacanum inflammare.
So over here, the first fire will be set on Snape because they focus on Snape. But this actually transmits towards the focus away from Quirrell towards Harry. Thus saving actually Harry by having a fire. See him fall? The moment that he fall, the ability is back to ride his broomstick again. Because both of the people are not chanting anymore. Or both professors. Really interesting in my opinion. Here as well, super interesting. He catches his with his mouth. Keep that in mind, guys. He actually swallowed the prize. And in later books and later in the series, it's gonna be important. He catched it by falling and actually obtaining it with his mouth.
Spell when I see one. I've read all about them. You've got to keep eye contact and Snape.
And here is the information about the fact that you have to keep eye contact, and that's why two people were chanting consistently amongst Harry Potter's broom to kill him and to save him.
Wasn't blinking. Exactly.
So this is an affirmation that it actually happens, if that makes sense.
You're meddling in things that ought not to be meddled in. It's dangerous. What that dog is guarding is strictly between Professor Dumbledore and Nicholas Flamel.
This I don't know, man. This is so fun. Nicholas Flamel, by the way, is based on a true actual person that actually lived in, I don't know, 1200 or whatever. Somewhere a couple hundred years back. And there are multiple different book series about Nicholas Flamel and whatnot. So it's not per se Harry Potter based. It's more mythology based on an actual person who lived in, I think, France or Italy. One of the two. Just Google Wiki it. And Nicholas Flamel, and there's a lot of information about that dude. Apparently he was a super rich guy. And because he was so rich, people thought he did something with chemistry to make gold. Or something along those lines. Anyway, super interesting. And people thought because of the alchemical side effects, he was undying, let's say. And the thing is, because it's a stone and it's Nicholas Flamel's stone, it's just it suits so perfectly in the lore of Harry Potter. Like, the dude actually existed a couple hundred years ago. Then also a couple hundred years ago, people thought he was an alchemist. And not only that, people thought he was pretty much, quote unquote, immortal. And it comes back so cool around here in this series. I just love it.
Nicholas Flamel?
I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that.
This as well, perfect, guys. Watch along. They are playing chess. This is gonna be the first indication of one of the layers of hell. It's perfectly set up, because honestly, you will not have known later on in the series that they knew how to play chess. So they had to show it right now that they knew how to play chess, otherwise it wouldn't make sense. So it's clearly a good editing setup thing like this, showing they playing and then knowing the rules. the showcase already one of the layers right now. Because watch here, what he says. Watch what he says. The moment she goes there.
Queen to e5.
Queen to e5 and boom, right? Now, that's totally barbaric, she says. So she's against violence. But this is completely what's gonna happen later on. It is beautifully set up, guys. It's mwah, chef's kiss, you know? It's perfect.
Wizard's chess. I see you've packed. See you haven't.
So this over here is gonna be amazing, guys. It's gonna be amazing. The fact that he now gets a letter written directly through him. And I think this is from Dumbledore, but I could be wrong. I don't know that for certain. But he now gets the invisibility cloak really shortly. And this is the first indication, guys, where it actually shows the Deathly Hallows, the 3 Deathly Hallows. So already in the first book, it shows something that's gonna be explained in about 7, I think, book 7. So it early slaps already with the fact that the film is so much further along in theory than actually it shows right now. It's beautiful. So he possesses now one of the mightiest 3 abilities in the magical wizard world, which is just amazing. The fact that he gets this cloak this early on, he just doesn't know how to properly use it, and he doesn't know that it's one of the 3 yet. He just knows that he has an invisible cloak, and that's about it. And pretty much there's a lot of lore about that in the Harry Potter, and it's super cool that it's already now explained that he has the invisible cloak. And later on, he misses the wand, of course, and things like that, but no spoilers yet.
I'm invisible.
So the cat notices him. Very interesting. He just got away from the books because it was the restriction section where he could not be. Now over here, what you see is a confrontation among Snape and Quirrell. That Snape is onto him. But the cat, remember, the cat saw actually Harry.
Me as your enemy, Quirrell.
And over here, what you're gonna see is the fact that Snape sees Harry as well. And I think either by Brad or something along those lines. And the fact that he tries to grasp, right? He tries to grasp means that he knows that there is something within the visibility cloak. Now, the professor of Hogwarts and Snape are quote unquote, let's call it for now, friends. So if actually the professor sent him the invisibility cloak, there's a good chance that Snape knows that happened, right, guys? Thus, therefore, does the grasp like that solely because he has the ID that Harry could be here. It's genius. It's speculation, but it's genius speculations, I guess. Not from me, but just from the show itself, if that makes sense. And then he instantly stops and say, let's chat another time. So basically saying to the audience, hey, I know you're here. Saying to Potter, I know you're here. Without really saying it, because then the cover could be blown towards Voldemort, right? It's so genius. And here, he get the affirmation that indeed there has been somebody there.
I found this.
Because, boom, the lantern is there. So he has the affirmation that, yes, Potter is there.
In the restricted
Genius.
section, it's still hot. That means there's a student out of bed.
The fact that he now notices his parents is just crazy. Because that's what he seeks the most, is his family. Which is nothing more than normal for a young boy, right? That lost his parents. It's horrible. So I can understand why you will be drawn to a mirror and to watch yourself is pretty much a reflection of what you are in a way, but it could also a reflection of the psyche. So I think if you watch perhaps your eyes in a mirror could be watching further than the layer of what you actually see. So not the physical, but more the emotional as well. Because there are so many sayings that watching in somebody's eyes is watching in somebody's soul, right? Thus, therefore, seeing your own soul and then reflecting your parents back in the mirror is just genius. I have no words for it more. It's really difficult to explain. But it's so cool, guys. It really is cool. I just don't know yet how to explain the fact that they can talk and interact. So it could be magical guardian angel aspects, because you will kind of see that later on. But then then the mirror should become a certain vortex, which really is not too far-fetched. Because in demonology, if you set two mirrors, you get a vortex. Because you have an infinite loop, let's say. And a lot of mythologized history goes towards hell. And in a way, this is kind of an hell. In a way, this is really a kind of hell. Because think about it, guys. Think about it clearly. You see what you most seek, but will never get. That's a form of torture. And a form of torture, you could describe it as hell. So a mirror could be a gateway to hell, guys. It might be far-fetched, but not that far-fetched. It's super interesting. It really is. And here, Harry gets a grasp back to reality, because he wanted to place his hand upon his mother's hand, and then realizes, shoot, I'm living in a different dimension. Because I watch something that grasps beyond physicality, right? It's I don't know, man. It's awesome. Mirrors are such a fascinating thing to me. So here, Harry basically tries to understand what he sees, and also is a filmation that he sees his parents. So he's also happy. Also happy, but also sad, if that makes sense. It's like an amalgamy of a lot of things, trying to grasp why his parents are there, but yet being super happy that their parents are there. And then the fact that the professor right now says back again shows us that he really, really already knows that Harry found it the first time, and maybe more. I don't know.
Whatever we want.
Yes, and no. It shows us nothing more or less than the deepest and most...
Yes, perfect, guys. It shows us the deepest, most desperate desires of our heart. And that's kind of where I was aiming towards. I said it as a soul, and through your eyes, through the soul. But of course, your heart and your mind is kind of an amalgamy of a soul, whatever a soul may be. I don't know whether a soul is even... Maybe soul might even be outside of your body, but I don't know. It's just super interesting to see this here.
Now you, Harry, who have never known your family, you see them standing beside you.
So yeah, you could definitely get waist up with watching what you desire instead of going towards what you desire, and watching what you desire as a potentially what you could have or not have, but knowing that you want to have. It's a dangerous game playing that.
This mirror gives us neither knowledge or truth. Men have wasted away in front of it.
Exactly. It's just perfect analogy of how a mirror pretty much works.
To a new home. And I must ask you not to go looking for it again. It does not do to dwell on dreams, Harry.
I love that phrase. It does not go to dwell on dreams. It's just perfect.
And forget to live.
Of course! Here it is. Nicholas Flamel is...
Here, going back to Nicholas Flamel. Nicholas Flamel, by the way, is based on a true actual person that actually lived. Is a philosopher of stone. Very interesting.
Honestly, don't you two read? The Sorcerer's Stone is a legendary substance with astonishing powers. It'll transform any metal into pure...
It transforms any metal into pure gold. And it's kind of the lore back in the days. Like, you know, hey, he's super rich. He must have done something with alchemy. Because how the hell can you otherwise become so rich with gold and things like that, you know? Therefore, for becoming immortal. So basically, the lore is already explained in pretty much Harry Potter. Is in a slight curve through what actually happened back in the day.
That's what Fluffy's guarding on the 3rd floor. That's what's under the trapdoor. The Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah, so now they know it. They know what they're seeking for. They know what the goal is. They know where to find it. They only need to get the courage to grow to hell, pretty much. I really like this part. The fact that Hagrid has a dragon really resembles the unknowing factor of, how would I say? Pretty much, for lack of better words, death and despair, in a way. Because primarily dragons are known to either protect something, or later on, from the 1700s, give or take, to attack something. It's very biblical, but it also shows in a way that perhaps you have a certain aspect of your life that you are oblivion to and just don't get how to fix it or even that it exists. And then it becomes so big, therefore it goes out of control, because who the heck can handle a dragon, right? But in this series, I don't know in particular how that would apply completely. But it is a good analogy for it, nonetheless.
All 4 of you will receive detention.
I love this part. All 4 of you will get detention. You can see how impulsive Drago is here. Drago. Or whatever. Anyway. The fact that he, quote unquote, snitched on the enemy, which in this part is Harry Potter's gang, of course, without fully thinking ahead, hey, I'm not supposed to be here either, as you can see right about here.
Perhaps I heard you wrong. I thought you said the
The
4
4 of us.
No, you heard me correctly, Mr.
This is too funny. So basically she acknowledged, yes, you have good intentions, people shouldn't walk around at night, but you did the same thing. And he completely got his mind blown by the fact, oh yeah, that's true.
We're out of bed after hours.
What is it, Van?
Here we see pretty much what is Voldemort in his weakest state, dining and you know, whining on a pretty much a unicorn, which is relatively extremely pure, and the moment he sees him clearly, the mark burns, which has a second identification or resemblance of the Death Eaters, right? Because this is the second time that he truly sees full potential of evil. And I'm not talking about when he was a baby, of course, but more about, hey, he first saw Snape, an ex-Death Eater, and now he sees...
You saved me from?
A monstrous creature. It is a terrible crime to slay.
I love this sentence here. Watch what he says precisely. It really goes towards the essence of the story of the unicorn.
Unicorn. Drinking the blood of a unicorn will keep you alive even if you are an inch from death. But at a terrible price. You have slain something so pure that from the moment the blood touches your lips, you...
So basically, to kill something super pure requires you to be the most possible evil. Because if you had only salt, let's say a pinch of salt of quote-unquote empathy, you couldn't kill something that pure. So it really brings the essence of the darkest dark. Can only kill the purest pure, if that makes sense.
Will have a half-life.
I'll fight you! Neville, I'm
Neville is the cutest boy ever. It's so fun to see him basically learning how to become a leader, I will say. To stand against your friends in the better outcome of a short amount of pain, perhaps. It's a little bit of lack of words, but pretty much to save them, you hurt them fewer than the possibility of hurt, the tremendous hurt in the future, if that makes sense.
really sorry.
It's really cool. It's really cool.
Totalis.
He just doesn't stand a chance yet. So now they're basically under the cloak of invincibility from the Deathly Hallows. And the one thing is here, from now on they did their research, they did everything, and they're willingly going into, I will almost say, Inferno? Going willingly with their eyes open into the abyss. So they accept the term of possible mayhem and possible death, of course, but also for the greater good, which is awesome. Really cool to see.
Wait a minute.
It's better to go willingly tiptoeing in the dark than get consumed by it when you don't want to see it, if that makes sense, right?
He's...
It's a really good philosophy.
Soaring.
And this is basically the definition of literally jumping in the abyss, if that makes sense, right? They are willingly jumping. Because sure, they were scared of the dog. But prior to that, they knew they had to jump. It's awesome.
Lucky this
It really makes sense.
Here, really. Whoa!
What happens here, I will do the sound a little bit softer. What happens here, they get strained by fines. What does it mean to get restrained? It basically means that you have no possible option anymore and you got consumed by something, right? And over here, Hermione said, hey, if you fight back, you die. And if you accept and willingly go further along deeper in the abyss, you have a better outcome. It's pretty much Dante's Inferno comedy define kind of thing. As long as you're willingly going towards the difficulty here and just accept it, and it's a reassurance like, hey, you have accepted it, go along, accept it, and you should be fine. As you see, Hermione pretty much is. is completely fine. She's one of the first persons to find it out because she's really smart, right?
He's not relaxing, is he? Apparently not. I've got to do.
So the fact that Ron struggles the most here is really fun because he struggles with pretty much darkness within himself a lot later on in the series. And here it shows the first sign, already the first sign that he will become, in a way, a villain. Which is just awesome to show. It really is nice. It shows he must learn a lot. And that's why he is pretty much the most admirable, 100% in my opinion. I'm the most fan of him.
I bet one of them fits that door.
I assume this will have an deeper impact of chaos. You see a million flying keys. Only one of them fits. It's like a Rubik's puzzle. Like a Rubik, whatever, a square, right? You have millions upon millions upon millions of ways of turning it, but only one solution, which basically here is precisely the same. You have only one solution, and that is to find the thing within the chaos that occurs. So can you be level-headed enough to pretty much find your way through hell? It really is kind of cool, because there's only one door that unlocks with one key. And yeah, so the show space, chaos, doom and despair. Get yourself further along the lines. See, the moment that he attempts to go for it, chaos occurs. Crazy. It is perfect. It really is nice to see that. So stepping into it without hesitation pretty much, but not stepping into it dumb or without caution, if that makes sense. So over here, the next door, it really is interesting. This brings back what we earlier said about chess, that they had to show it in the series, otherwise how would you have known the rules, that they knew the rules, right? And they see pretty much a graveyard right now with all chess pieces. And in the magical realm, every time you do magical chess, right? The second you sacrifice something, it dies. So this shows a relentless amount of technical strength with your team, which is just awesome.
Graveyard. This is no graveyard.
It's fun to see this, that they guard the next door, so you have no other way than to actually play the game. And by playing the game is pretty much the new depth of hell to unlock within yourself. So far we had Fluffy, we had the vines, we had the keys, and this is going to be the chessboard. So the fact that white goes first is really interesting, because in chess white always goes first, but white pretty much here is also the closest to the next door, which resembles that it should supposed to be, quote unquote, that the darkness or the protection or whatever, right? And willingly stepping into the darkness, the darkness will always attack you first, and therefore they are not white pieces, they are black pieces that they play along against white. So it's a really nice terminology, I will say, and thing to, once you got attacked, you pretty much never attack first, because you don't know what you're gonna attack, because jumping in something you don't know, right? So you always get attacked first. It's just really nicely set up. It's really nicely done.
You don't suppose this is...
The fact that I think Ron might be the better chess player out of them all three. And I think the reason that he set his friends upon certain pieces might be because they should be magically linked towards the chess game. So if you lose your piece with your friends upon it, you will lose your life. Or potentially your life, right?
Then you're free to check the king. No. Ron, no! What is it?
So it's basically a suicide mission.
No, you can't!
But it's quite nice, because it's a team building gameplay. Which shows that he already talked about sacrificing himself and therefore setting himself upon the knight to win the game, so Harry can go along. It's awesome.
Harry, it's you that has to go on. I know it. Not me, not Hermione.
See? You reverse what I said and it's just perfect.
You.
Because Harry, of course, is the chosen one. So he walks even further down the lane right now, further in the depth, and despair of his potential demise by facing his biggest fear, which is awesome. And he already hurts his face, his scar, right? Which indicates he is walking the path that he must be walking to become a greater wizard to save the world. Now the thing here, if you watch closely, you see the mirror, and the mirror is placed in the center, which shows you that if you have an aim, let's say shooting a bow, archery, right? You aim for the center. To place something that you want to be in the center is as old as Tales could be, pretty much. It's very interesting.
You.
One thing I must admit, which I found to be a little bit disappointing right about here, is that there are only, let's see, Doc, Vane, keys, chess, and then they are there, right? Last circle of, let's say, hell, which are 5. There are 5 demises here that he had to conquer. If there actually would have been 7, that would be a very cool, instructive way of maybe implementing the 7 deadly sins kind of aspects of religion, right? So glutamine, pride, envy, etc., right? So that could have been something cool, but then maybe missing the mark in the lore. I don't know. I think that could be, it could have been a possibility. As it is right now, it's very good. It's perfectly written. Don't get me wrong. It's really good. It might have been way more difficult to actually set a human emotion consistently with every layer, because I think the film would have been twice as long. It's fun to see over here that he actually does not stutter, and therefore acknowledge the fact that he wanted to be perceived as somebody with no harm intention or anything like that, while even pretty much having the biggest evil there.
I tried to kill you, and trust me, if Snape's cloak hadn't caught fire and broken my eye contact.
There, and this is fun, because Snape was the aim, of course, from Hermione, but due to the fire and everybody shocked and he felt, he couldn't kill him. So it's a reaffirmation that Snape was actually saving him.
Succeeded, even with Snape muttering his little counter curse.
Exactly. So this is a fun concept, because he desires to have the stone in the mirror, so that's your deepest, darkest desire. But what's gonna happen here is pretty much here. The voice of Voldemort saying, use the boy, right? So I will show you in a little bit what I mean with this. He now holds the stone, which is an interesting fact because everybody wants to have the stone besides Harry, and we will talk about this a little bit later. I just want to clarify first what Krill is going to see and why he's going to see it. Here, from here on out, this is going to be interesting. He says, let me speak, master, you're not strong enough. So it shows that there is two creatures, or two humans, or whatever you want to say it, two beings in one vessel, right? Vessel as a human body. And now he shows him the fact that actually he has two faces, right? The face of good and the face of evil, right about here. And what I am actually thinking is whether Professor Krill wanted to see the stone, or that he basically became a vessel. Of course, he became a vessel for Voldemort, but that his powers became that great that the soul of Krill does no longer possesses over the body, and therefore perhaps sees the stone even though he doesn't want to see the stone per se. I think Krill has a different goal, but it took over the demise of him by Voldemort, and therefore he sees the stone. I think that's it.
You liar! Kill him!
This is an interesting part. Watch closely. I will set the music a little bit softer. So over here, he basically turns into ashes / stone, and it should be supposed to be his parents protecting him. But if we go way back early, we saw Krill won't have physical contact. You will see it over here. Watch.
Oh, nice to meet you.
What is the first thing that you normally do when you greet somebody? You give him a hand.
Not that you need it, eh? Potter.
He has a close body language like this. So there won't be any physical contact. You see why? This is why. Because his parents would have protected him for Krill no matter what in the afterlife with magical power. And basically Krill already knew that this was supposed to be possibly happen. Like, he didn't know that this precisely would have been happened, but he knew that there was a potential that there would have been an earlier fight, if that makes sense. At least Krill perhaps didn't know it himself, but Voldemort for sure did.
That is one of my more brilliant ideas. And between you and...
This will actually indicate that somehow he possesses the ability to maneuver, let's say, the mirror in a way, or cast a spell upon the mirror in a way that he knew how to set it in there, and then only being drawn out by Harry Potter. So it's kind of a trust thing, which is kind of nice, of course, but also makes me guess whether, how will I say this? the mirror has an ability of magical power of himself, or that it was a regular mirror to begin with, and then transformed in a magical mirror from the professor, right? But whatever.
Thanks, Hagrid.
Poor Harry. He must go back towards his staff, or wait, his godparents, let's say, right? It's yeah, it's such a shame.
Oh, listen, Harry. If that dolt of a cousin of yours, Dudley, gives you any grief, you could always threaten him.
So guys, thank you very much for watching along with us for Harry Potter 1. Of course, I must say, I really liked Harry Potter. Harry Potter, this is the first one out of the 8. It's a little bit more towards a children movie, and from 2 on towards the 7th, the second part is really more for adults, which of course makes it a little bit more, I will say, in depth, I guess. But nonetheless, I really enjoy Harry Potter, and thank you guys for watching. Have a good one. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and leave a comment down below. Bye!